All right, go for it.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is the Grill Economist coming to you live with my main man, CJ, aka El Cuco. And we're bringing you the news, the views, and all the information that's important to you. Check us out, roguemoney.net. Follow us on Twitter at the Rogue Money and Rogue Money on Facebook, DTube, Steam it, every single podcasting app known to humanity. We are there everywhere you'd want us to be in a bag of chips. Check out our sponsors, remaincom.net, remaincom.net, whether you need to get your credit score fixed or you need money to get your cryptos or whatever the heck it is you want to get. Remaincom.net is a place for you. Check out their personal funding option as well as their credit repair programs. And folks, if you want to escape and skirt the deep state and get around this surveillance, you need the silverback. You need the silverback or heck, even the gold USB. They're both there. They're both available on mygoldusb.com. mygoldusb.com. And if you haven't done so already, you want to learn how to secure your cryptos, you want to learn what wallet to use, what exchanges to utilize, how to move in and out of it, check out thecryptoschool.io, thecryptoschool.io. With that being said, CJ, what's going on, brother? How are you?
Hey, you're doing great. Good morning, V. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. We're gonna have a little bit of a short date today. We're gonna run this real fast. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's talk about our misunderstood, misguided foreign policy because I don't even think right now anyone knows what the U.S. wants overseas in Syria, V.
The U.S. foreign policy. It's like having a schizophrenic girlfriend. It really is. One day she loves you, the next day she hates you. One day she's giving you flowers, the next day she's going at you with a knife. This is basically Rex Tillerson. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know again if this is rhetoric, if this is just hubbub to appease the neocons or whatnot. But the supposed 30,000 strong Kurdish YPG led border security force that's going to be northeastern in Syria to prevent any sort of Islamic State resurgence. And the U.S. is going to support them. Now the U.S. is backing Turkey, and Turkish tanks are driving into that northern eastern part of Syria to, wreck and destroy the YPG. So incredible flip-flop, and this is exactly why nobody trusts the U.S. overseas. We can't keep a single word to anyone and just look stupid in the grander scheme of things over here, man. So it's ridiculous, Sage.
Yeah, it's very complicated. And then you have Nikki Haley up at the UN, screaming and yelling and asking about what the UN is going to do about the chemical weapons that Bashir Assad didn't use in Syria.
Nikki Haley, I'm asking the UN about the chemical weapons that have been utilized in Nikki Haley's brain. The woman is clueless.
Nice.
Literally clueless. I mean, God, man, I've never met a more dumber person. I don't know who's worse. It's like I had to deal with 8 years of that screaming wench, Susan Powers. And now it's been replaced by a dunderheaded idiot, Nikki Haley, who went to the Lindsay Tickle My Butt Graham School of International Studies and doesn't know anything in regards to the grand scheme of things. I mean, just so stupid. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
anyway,
the
fleecing continues, CJ. The fleecing continues, and this is why the crypto education with the crypto school is very important. What's going on over here, man?
Well, yeah, like in case you haven't caught wind, as far as the amount of fees that banks collect right now, V, and new data is out presenting the fact that Bank of America hiked fees on the poor's customers, raising the minimum deposit that's required or automatic deposit. I mean, listen, these banks rake in tons of profits off of these, overdraft fees, everything else they do, and primarily, they target the poorest customers.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely. And this is what these fees do. Like, who the hell wants to deal with these fees? Bank of America is one of the most heavily feed out banks that are out there. If they're not gouging you with fees, you go to Wells Fargo, they're creating like 15 accounts for you, and you don't even realize that they've opened up 15 accounts, and you're wondering what the hell is happening. You're getting dinged $20, $30, $40 a month. Look at your statement fees, your this fees, your balance fees, your transfer fees. Who needs it? And this is why the more people are educated in cryptocurrencies, the better off we all are. The faster we could decentralize ourselves from these idiot banks, my man. From these idiot banks.
They truly do. As far as taking a look at it, and I know how we feel about social justice and all that. But listen, these banks, these banks, they get the bailouts, they get the waivers on things, and then they turn around and they target the poorest customers by charging them. They understand that they'll do anything, bend over backwards to get the high balance customers, right? They'll give them free everything if they need, but don't you dare be a impoverished citizen or an elderly person getting Social Security, because they will charge you. That's for darn sure.
Yeah. Absolutely, my man. And the stupidity continues, my man. Stupidity continues. We're wondering what the hell was going on in Syria. And we thought that was the last end of it, with the U.S. is flip-flopping all over the place. Now their national defense strategy of sowing global chaos. And I kind of covered this last night. I posted up a Gorilla Inside episode 2.
Yeah, great job. I listened to it. It's good stuff.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. I try. If you folks haven't got a chance to listen to it, go back and listen to it. And this national defense strategy of sowing global chaos, again, has been released. And it's showing that, again, we don't have a strategy. We don't have anything in place except the ridiculousness of Pax Americana, which is turning out to be lax Americana. And soon as it's going to be laxative Americana, as the U.S. dollar dies a slow and painful death. Break this down real quick, Siege. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, when you take a look at the fact that our national defense strategy, right? We spend more than any other country combined in terms of the amount of money that we do spend, and that's primarily because of all of our overseas, what we like to call action, we like to call spreading diplomacy. But when you look, the underlying tone is in all these areas that we try to undermine. It's there primarily as far as disrupting either trade, disrupting the potential of these emerging markets, and trying to stronghold the influence of the dying U.S. empire. A strategy for the last several years, has just completely failed. And where has it gotten us? Just, more debt, very unfavorably looked at on a world stage, where now all of our traditional, counterparts, our allies that we traditionally had as a country, are no longer looking towards the U.S. as far as a global leader the way that we should be, because we're just kind of hell-bent on trying to protect that dollar, protect, what we call our U.S. empire. But things are changing quickly, V.
Yeah, absolutely, my man. Absolutely correct. Things are changing very rapidly. Let's add to that stupidity, my man. Let's add to that stupidity. You get the Democrats are demanding Twitter, Facebook crack down on, quote, the hashtag.
Yeah, this just shows the complete level of stupidity, So V, we covered it the day that we keep pushing. We push the release, the memo. I mean, there was more, congressmen, senators that really were pushing for the hashtag release the memo. And for that particular couple of days, V, I mean, it was like top trending. So the Democrats got all upset, and they're like, well, this has to be some type of Russian bots or some type of Russian influence. So they sent a letter to Twitter, to Facebook, stating that they needed to investigate specifically why this was trending on social media, released the memo, that they were sure that it was Russia influence. V.
They're so stupid.
They don't understand this was a grassroots movement. They don't understand that Americans want the truth to come out. They don't understand that they want major reform to occur in Washington, D.C., but they're more than happy, V, to stick to that narrative of Russia influence.
This is the most dumbest thing. This is the equivalent of the House of the Democrats is on fire. And what they're doing is, while the house is burning on fire, they are pouring more lighter fluid on it, increasing the flames and saying, this is completely normal. This is fine. Everything's okay. And while the flames are increasing, what are they doing? Well, any sort of firemen or anybody that's trying to come out to put out the flames and say, hey, maybe you guys should get off this Russia collusion narrative. It's BS. But you can't convince these people that are so stupid and so inured in their propaganda. They can't let off one iota of this whole entire Russia collusion thing. So they continue. It's like a one-trick pony. My question is, are they really this stupid? Or are they literally that desperate that they are so far gone out of any real ideas? It's beyond me, Siege. It's beyond me. It's ridiculous, man. These people are going to go to the grave with this Russia collusion thing. It'll be the end of the party. I don't see these idiots, surviving much longer. It's funny to watch this.
You're absolutely right. There's no time spent with any type of internal, any type of soul searching to say, hey, why is it that that we're losing the true libertarians? Why is it that more people are shifting towards Libertarian Party away from the Democratic Party base? And then they put out stupid letters like this asking Zuckerberg and Dorsey to investigate the release, the memo Twitter that they were sure that it was Russia involvement. But yeah, anyway, just pure stupidity, B.
And what's going on with the jaw-dropping text message by FBI agents that suggested there was no collusion with Russia, something that we all knew?
Yeah, so they did cover some of the text messages that were, revealed to where they had the opportunity on Saturday to go in and review those. And an interesting fact is that, one of the texts be specifically stayed out that they were confident that there wouldn't be anything to find because believes there was nothing there, no collusion. And that came directly from Peter Strzok, who's one of the two, when he was texting his mistress. So this came out. And then also, ironically enough, yesterday, former FBI director, and I just lost my train. I thought I started calling him Mueller. James Comey came out. He's trying to protect himself because Comey knows Comey's going to get called back up to the Hill because, he completely lied to Congress. And B, guess what he's stating now about that? Remember how he came out and said, well, I gave my notes to my friend who's a professor at Harvard or wherever it was. Guess what he's stating now about his professor, his friend that was a professor? He's stating that it was his attorney, and that's why he released the memo to him. That's why he said he released his notes to him. Yeah, so just this thing is just falling apart so fast. I don't want another special prosecutor. I don't want to waste the American taxpayers' dime with another $4 or $5 million investigating this. I want decisive action, and I don't care if it creates an uproar politically. I can give a crap about politics at this point. Fire Mueller, pretty much come out with all these docs showing that it's complete bogus, and let's move on, please.
Yep. I agree wholeheartedly, man. It's hilarious. There's one thing is one of the questions that are being floated out there in the blogospheres. Originally started with a QAnon, is that are there texts? What happens when it's revealed that there are texts out there that has the potential of saying that is being discussed by agents in the intelligence services that are discussing the assassination of a president? What if they find that is the question that was being posed? If they find out, that'd be devastating. My whole thing is this, you know what I'm sick of, man? This is what I'm sick of. And this is what I was trying to get at last night with the Guerrilla Insight episode 2. Is this: I am sick of these leaders treating the American public like a bunch of babies. Oh, we have to redact it. They won't be able to handle the truth. F you. You can't handle the truth. You can't. It's not that you're afraid of us handling the truth. You're afraid of us responding to the truth and kicking your teeth in. You're afraid of us lynching you from lampposts up and down Pennsylvania Avenue. That's what you're afraid of. Stop. If there's any hero American politician out there that's listening, I will encourage you, release the memo in its entirety, unredacted, for the American public to see. Name the names. This has to be, you are so willing, you morons, to drop bombs on a country that has nothing to do with 9/11, then televise it and then call it shock and awe. You have no problem giving us that. But all of a sudden, when it comes to revealing the implicit correspondence of a certain gaggle and network of malicious maniacs and all their sick and twisted ways, their criminal behavior, all of a sudden it's, we have to redact this and we can't show the American public. They wouldn't be able to handle the truth. No. You are still trying to protect these guys. We want to see people go to jail. We can handle. If the good guys are listening, if those that have a conscience and a soul in government, those who are fighting the tyranny and the evil, you want us to be behind your back. Look, the American public is mature. The American public is old enough. You want us to get us riled up to execute judgment. And the only thing, CJ, the only thing that's going to unite people on the left and the people on the right is when the truth of human trafficking, when the truth of satanic rituals, child abuse, and all the things that are happening with the child rapes and all these things, this network of child molesters, when that is spilled and brought to the public forefront, that will make the American public put aside all political differences and will seek with swift vengeance the immediate end to the lives of these criminals. That's what needs to be done. The American public needs to be shocked in that way. They don't need, and people, well, they'll lose faith in their government. No, they will increase, you will see the biggest boost in morale and confidence and the restoration of trust in leaders that you've never seen before. There's a chasm that divides leadership in this country from the rest of this population. They will be able to bridge that, and then the American population, the American citizens, and their leaders can work together to ensure that this never, ever, ever happens again. That's what needs to be done.
Very well said, V. Very well said.
With that being said, Siege, we're at the end of the program. We had to make it short today. Any last closing comments, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. So make sure you dial back in 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is Hump Day with the man, the myth, the legend, Bix Weir. You do not want to miss that show. Always interesting what Bix has to say. And then also make sure to check out roguemoney.net. Go there, check out the great articles by our contributors. We always appreciate all their hard work, and we appreciate our fans. Thank you all for listening in.
With that being said, we're over now. Take it away. Go.